השנה ייכתבון ביום צום כיפור יחתמון Shashanam Yikasevon V'yom Tzom Kippur Yechasevon Ayut Shuva Utfila Utzdaka Mavirin Edrov Akzeira Utshuva Utfila Utzdaka Mavirin Etzoya Akzeira Shashanam Yikasevon V'yom Tzom Kippur Yechasevon V'roi Shashanam Yikasevon V'yom Tzom Kippur Yechasevon Ay ay la 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 lo ro ro lo ro ro ding la 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 ro bom 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 ba la 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 Sorry, we haven't sung in so long. One more strong one.
I'll put a flush, yeah, you can pay us because it's show us how sorry you
Let's see, what we're going to do.
That was a good one.
Lidois betuv Hashem b'yeretz hachayim Lulei emanti Lidois betuv Hashem Lidois betuv Hashem b'yeretz hachayim Lulei emanti Lidois betuv Hashem Lidois betuv Hashem b'yeretz hachayim Lulei emanti Lidois betuv Hashem Lidois betuv Hashem b'yeretz hachayim Kaveh el Hashem Chazak v'yametz libecha V'yametz libecha V'kaveh el Hashem Not this last Shabbos, the Shabbos before that, I was with my Rabbi in New York, and Friday night we got together for a tish, and we sang this nigun in some living, beautiful dining room in Woodmere, and there was Satmar Hasidim there that came from Williamsburg for Shabbos, and Tzvi was there. Oh, what's his name? Holtz, and a bunch of Chevra there. It was close to 1 in the morning. Everyone was exhausted beyond belief. We started singing this nigun, we couldn't stop. Started dancing around the whole table because we just felt like, what's left than to just say Kaveh el Hashem Chazak v'yametz libecha. We're still hoping for something much greater than whatever we know, and we're begging Hashem to have ometz halev, courageousness, courage of the heart, to have a heart a courageous heart. And I think that when you tap into davening to Hashem to have a courageous heart, at that moment, you're not physically, it doesn't matter where you are, you could be anywhere in the world, but those are the moments that count the most in life, which is how we end off every day of davening with the David Hashem Ori V'yishi. Bless me, God, with a heart of courage. So I was just thinking the last time, when did I feel like I had a taste of a heart of courage? It was like around the dining room table in Woodmere, and now we're in a dining room table in Efrat Israel, and not that Chas v'Sholom, there's no difference between the two. There's a lot of difference between the two. But to have a courageous heart is something so, to have a taste of it for 1 second is something so monumental. Alright. So, first of all, Potchem Bichvod Achsania. We're so privileged, we're so lucky to be able to continue our learning together. And it's been a very long time that we've been learning together. We had the privilege of learning together here in Efrat. But we have to go much stronger this year than whatever we were used to until now. But that's what I'm hoping for. I pray. Efrat Hashem. And thank God that, Baruch Hashem, we're in a new home in Eretz Israel. Even though it's not a new physical home, but with a new family, in a new home, everything is chadash. So in the schut of the hitchadshut of the crowns, in this home, in Eretz Israel, it should rub off on us that everything should feel new in our lives. The learning should feel new. The being together with each other should feel new. The Torahs we learning should feel new. Everything about, I didn't even recognize you see, everything should feel absolutely new. And Bezrat Hashem, we're going to be learning Leilui Nishmas Tobi's Abba and Chaya's Zaidi, Leilui Nishmas Reb Nachum Shimon ben Yitzchak Aryeh, and Leilui Nishmas Chaya, what's the name? Binyamin ben Shmuel, who was nifter just about a month ago, correct? Just about a month ago. And Hashem should have an aliyah and nachas from their grandchildren and great-grandchildren growing up in Eretz Israel. And someone right before Shiur, a dear chaver asked me, the yortzeit of one of his best friends, Leilui Nishmas Chaim David ben Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Halevi. His neshama should have an aliyah as well. You know, in essence, the week before Rosh Hashanah, you don't want to get too confused. You're going to try to get as clear as you can, because all you really know that you could afford to do is to try to grab onto as much clarity as to what am I supposed to be doing preparing for Rosh Hashanah, and what am I supposed to be doing when I stand before the Melech Malcha and Lachim Rosh Hashanah and I hear Shomea Kol Shofar, and I hear the voice of the shofar. In the classes we've been having in Yerushalayim, we've been focusing on preparing to hear the voice of the shofar. What does that mean? How do you prepare to hear the voice of the shofar? But tonight, with the help of something very beautiful that I saw as a child, we're going to be able to focus through the parsha of Nitzavim how to prepare for Rosh Hashanah in the deepest way. And this is something that I think I shared over the years. You know that the words Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem, it's brought down in the Svarim, that's the gematria of the words La'amod L'Slichot. Like those words, Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem, you're all gathered today to stand here monumentally together with each other before God. That's mamash the gematria of why are you gathering together before Rosh Hashanah? La'amod L'Slichot, to stand up, to start saying slichas, to start saying I'm sorry. I was talking about this last night in Yerushalayim, that we're already in this modern age of saying I'm sorry to God was so like 1960, it's so 1980 even. But today, come on. Today, why do you have to be busy asking God for mechila, saying to God I'm sorry? Come on, it's got to be deeper. If you're really close to God, you don't really have to say I'm sorry. Just like there's certain friendships that you think, oh, we're close enough. He knows I didn't mean to hurt him. I don't have to say I'm sorry. when really your friend might have been waiting for God knows how long for you to just be a mensch and say, I'm sorry. So what is it that holds us back from saying I'm sorry? I think that's that we don't really know what we're supposed to be saying I'm sorry about. Yeah, I'm sorry I did this wrong, I did that wrong. I do that every single day. Slach lanu avinu ki chatanu. Mechal lanu malkeinu ki fashanu. I say I'm sorry every single day of the year. The I'm sorry that I'm saying in the month of Elul is something completely different. Remember, I shared with you that Bnei Yisachar says, says that the gematria of the word Elul is the gematria of Bina, the word Bina, a name I kind of like, right? The word Bina is the gematria 67, same gematria of Elul, which means all year long I say I'm sorry on the level of Chokhmah. I did this wrong, I'm sorry. On a Bina level, when I say I'm sorry, Rabbi Shlomo already said that in Elul I'm busy saying I'm sorry for all the things I did right that I could have done so much better. And we've learned that many, many times. That's what I'm busy with during the month of Elul. But through today's Parsha, we're going to see that I'm really saying I'm sorry for something even greater than that. You know, as this New Year is approaching, try to do whatever you can for a second to place yourself back exactly where you were a year ago. And what do I mean by where you were a year ago? Not where you were financially, not where you were socially, not where you physically lived. What were your concepts of God a year ago? What was your concept of the Torah a year ago? What was your concept of your relationship to your spouse a year ago? What was it like? What was the concept of your own image a year ago? And what was the concept of the friendships that you had in your life a year ago? And unfortunately over there, it's very easy to say, I'm so sorry that I spent so much time worrying about so many things that have nothing to do with the questions we just asked right now. But for now, what about our image of community, our image of why we're living with each other, why we're living in Eretz Israel? What's your concept of friendships? What was it like a year ago? And what is it today? Because our Parsha is pointing a finger and saying, did the concept of chaverut, of friendship in your life, become any deeper? Can you look at one relationship in your life and say, I didn't compromise with this person. We went for it. We realized that God gave us a gift by being in each other's lives, and we took advantage of it. Can you say that at all? I feel very blessed. There's about 5 of us in this room that just came back from the Ukraine, 4 or 5 of us came back from the Ukraine, and Hashem gave us a gift. A gift, I feel like, of realizing that our chaverut, our friendships, are not just, it's cool, you know, it's small parties, you know, there's something much, much deeper. There's something much more monumental. There's something so much more special. And I pray we continue to take advantage of that in the deepest way. Where is this coming from? I have to share you an image that's etched in my mind and in my heart and soul that I saw from a young age. You know, many of you know my Abba. Hashem should give him many more years, b'simcha, with good health. If I have to share with you what are the images I remember of childhood, it's one image. It's my father davening Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. That's the image I have. I mean, we did other things too, but that's really what I remember strongest. My father wrapped in his talis. Quite often I was the little choir boy, you know, in the choir. My father like going like this to me, meaning project, like he would say, like, you know, sing loud. You know, I remember that, you know, very clearly. But there's one moment in the davening that I remember, and I remember this clearly in Los Angeles. One time, right before my father started davening Musaf, he took out a piece of paper from his pocket, and he looked at it, and then he looked at the whole crowd. Now, this shul in LA is massive. Those of you that know Beth Jacob, it's It's a little bit bigger than Shirat David, just a tad, right? It's massive. You remember it. Yeah, my father was the Chazan. It's a massive shul. And my father, before he started saying Hineni, the prayer of all prayers, which we're going to be saying next week, next Monday, and Tuesday, and the following week too. My father, before he turned around to everyone and looked at everyone for a second, and then he started davening, and he shook the heavens. Shook the heavens. So I asked him afterwards, I said, "Oh, what'd you take out of your pocket?" So he showed me, there's a Torah from Rabbi Nachman. This is years ago he showed me this. In Reish Pei Bez, the famous 282nd Torah in Likutei Moharan, the Torah of the Nekudos Tovos, Azamra. There's a Torah that Rabbi Nachman says that a Shliach Tzibur, someone who's a Chazan, but a Shliach, meaning an emissary of the congregation, is someone who's able lilkot et hanekudot hatovot shel kol hamitpalelim, to gather all the sparks, all the good points of everyone who's davening with him, because through him the prayers go up. But it's to be able to be mekushar, to be connected to all those people who he's gathering their sparks and being connected to them. Like today, Chazanim, they go up, the last thing in the world they're thinking about is connecting on a soul level to the Mitpalelim. What they're thinking about is, will their rendition of Yosle Rosenblatt and the Son of Tokef be strong enough? Like, how much do they have to hold their voice? How much do they have to hold back? When to sing louder? That's not what a Chazan is supposed to be busy doing. A Chazan has to be busy mainly with a few words. There's a few words in the Hineni that say it all. And it says, please God, let me be me'urav beda'at im habriot, which means, let me be, me'urav beda'at im habriot means, let me be mixed in with my da'at, with creations. Let me be part of the world. Let me be involved with people's lives. Let my life be involved with theirs. Let me have something to do with them on a real level, on a real soul level. And the more I think of this, the more the Baal Shem Tov's Torah on this, and it's amazing for us to say now the Baal Shem Tov's Torah. We were just by his kever, davening in his shul, and now to say his Torahs from him take on such a higher meaning. The Baal Shem Tov explains, why is it that every single Shabbos, Mevarchim, we have a whole, the Shabbos before a new month, we have a whole Birkas HaChodesh. But, there's a new month coming up next week. It's called Tishrei. You're not going to hear any Yehi Ratzons in the shul this Shabbos. There's no Birkas HaChodesh for the month of Tishrei. Why is that? So there's many different reasons. One of them is that it's just too big to... How could you bless the new month of Tishrei? It's the whole year is a preparation to bless the month of Tishrei. The whole month of Elul is one big Birkas HaChodesh. It's too big, right? So the Baal Shem Tov says, no. It's because the Ribono Shel Olam himself comes and does Birkas HaChodesh the Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah. This Shabbos in Shul, that moment when you would normally say, Yehi Ratzon Lefanecha Hashem Elokeinu Shtachadash Aleim Eschadesh, it's not going to happen this Shabbos. Tune in to a certain energy that takes place. The Baal Shem Tov says, the Ribono Shel Olam himself comes and blesses the new month, the new year. Big vessels you need for this. But Hasidim were busy trying to understand, where is it? At what point of the Shabbos does God come and bless? He's got to send us a message through something. There's got to be some kind of blessing we could connect to, through which the whole year is blessed. So the Alter Rebbe says, the bracha, the Birkas HaChodesh of the new year is what? The first pasuk in the parsha. Atem Nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Hashem Elokeichem is the greatest blessing God could ever give us as an Am. We have to understand, what is this bracha? What does it mean that you're all standing before the Ribono Shel Olam? What is this? what does this mean? That from the heads of tribes to wood choppers to water carriers, all of you, what's the purpose? Le'ovrecha bivris Hashem olakecho ve'alato. You know, there's like an amazing pshat that and I keep in mind my father's tefillah while we're learning what we're going to be learning right now. There's an amazing concept, which is that words in Hebrew they never mean just the only pshat. There's always a lot of meanings. You ever realize, like the word amud? What does amud mean in Hebrew? A pole. What else does it mean?
Stand up.
Huh?
Stand up.
Stand up. What else does it mean? Amud, right? It also means a page, right? It's like such a weird thing. I don't know how much in English there's like words have, you know, a number of meanings, but in Hebrew it's such an incredible thing, the power of the language. We're going to be looking at a word right now, an amazing word. How do you say guarantor in Hebrew? Does anyone know? Come on, you had to know if you bought a house. Huh? Arev, to be a guarantor for someone. Arev, to be a guarantor. You know, there's a famous midrash in Shiur in Rabbi. It's a beautiful midrash where it says that before Ribono Shel gave us the Torah on Mount Sinai, and we just put this in Evan Shlomo's Shmot, in Parshas Yisro, Rabbi Shlomo teaches it beautifully. He says, before God gave us the Torah, the midrash says, God said to us, who are your guarantors? Right? So we said, our parents. Am Yisrael said, our parents are our guarantors. God says, nah, that'll never work. That'll never keep you. That'll never keep you ne'eman to what you're taking on. So then we thought about it a little bit more, and God said, so who's going to sign for you? Who are your guarantors? And then we all realized, our children. They're our guarantors. And then God says, okay, now you know why I'm giving you the Torah in the first place. So back then, the bris of receiving the Torah was because our children took the guarantee that we would get our acts together. And at a certain level, if you think about it, you don't, like Rabbi Riskin once told people who refused to make aliyah because they didn't want to leave their parents where they were living in New York, Rabbi Riskin told them, you don't live for your parents, you live for your children. You honor your parents. You honor your parents, but you don't live for your parents. And I'm sure I'm striking a chord for many people in this room, many people that are watching us, and many people that will be learning with us. But when I heard that Rabbi Riskin said that, I realized that's what it means, the guarantee, taking on the guarantee of Matan Torah, is that you live for your children. You really do. You don't live for what was, you live for what's happening now and what the future will be. When it came to Matan Torah, that's how it worked. But God says to us through Moshe Rabbeinu in this Shabbos, now I need something even deeper. I need you all to become guarantors for each other. Atem Nitzavim hayom kulchem. Look around, each of you. You're about to go into Eretz Israel, different ball game. And Hashem said, and by the way, when does this parsha take place? Does anyone know? On the calendar? When does this parsha Nitzavim take place? And I'll give you a hint. What happens? What else is happening around this time in the Torah? Who's about to die? Moshe Rabbeinu. The last four parshas, Nitzavim, Vayelech, Ha'azinu, and Vezos Avracha, all happen on the same day. What day is that? Come on. Huh? Is it Vav or Zayin Adar, right? It's either the day he dies or his last, or the day before he dies, right? So this is like Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, okay, listen, this is my last wish. My last wish for you guys is to understand that if you're not going to be responsible for each other, ze lo yelech, it's not going to work. And the same thing goes as we're approaching Rosh Hashanah. If you're not going to be arevim, if you're not going to be guarantors for each other, this whole thing called Eretz Israel, Yiddishkeit, it's just not going to work. And therefore, the words of the Chazan in Hineni, that he should be someone that's me'urav b'da'at im habriot, that we should all be me'urav, we should be mixed in, we should be guarantors with da'at. I should know What's hurting you? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself, what do you really know about the people you consider your friends and your neighbors? How much do you really know about them? Are you responsible for them? Do you feel responsible for them? Do you feel like you're their guarantors? How much do you know about the people that you think you know them? You know, I have a few friends. It's an amazing thing. A few chaver mine in Yerushalayim. There is sometimes it gets too intense, and that's why I don't hang out with them too much, but there's no such thing as any type of superficial, artificial talk. Nothing. Like the second we see each other, it could be 5 months. Hi, how are you? It's not like, oh, how are the kids? It's like, hey, how are you? How's your soul doing? You know? What's the latest? Like, when was the last time you cried over something? It goes right away, boom, into that kishka talk. Anyway, this is what we're doing before we're starting the new year. Hashem is asking us a very important question. And that's the question, are you me'urav b'dati mabriyot? Are you really involved in a real way in the people in whose lives God Pashut placed before you? On a very simple level. Because that's the bris, that's what Atem Nitzavim are all about. Maybe now we understand. Atem Nitzavim hayom kulchem is gimatria la'amod l'slichot, because you have to say, I'm sorry for all those people that were in your life that you compromised on the depth and closeness that you had with them. I always said to my chevra, here, to anybody, it's like we have way too much to compromise. We should not be compromising on what's in front of us right now. That's like the last thing that should be happening right now. Hashem did not put each other in our lives in today's day and age for anything less than being in touch with each other's emotions and having real emesdika Torah relationships. Those days of having huge communities and all social systems based on hi, how are you? It's not going to work anymore. We need to be me'urav b'dati mabriyot. It's a must. We have to know what's in each other's hearts. We have to be guarantors for each other. I'm not talking about take it in the most real way. Take it in the most beautiful way. It's not a sad thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. Now in Hebrew, arev, guarantor, also comes from the word me'urav, to also be mixed in, le'arbev, to be mixed in with each other. What other word does arev mean?
Beautiful.
Ki kolech arev. What is arev? What else? We say it in Zmiros also. V'ma'achale arevos b'minei mat'amin, right? What does arev mean? Sweetness, pleasantness, We don't really taste pleasantness with friendships. We have nice moments where we laugh at the same things, or we use foul language over the same things, right? But when do we taste each other's pleasantness, the ne'imut, the arivut in a relationship? Hashem is saying to us as we're going towards Rosh Hashanah, this is the time to ask Hashem to please forgive me for not taking advantage for all the goodness you offered me this year. Please forgive me. And by next year, I'm begging you, Hashem, when I look back at the year, in a year from now, I want to look at everything that you placed in my lap, and when I ask myself, did I take advantage of it? Did I take advantage of the irbuviyah, the mixing, the mingling in with people, and the sweetness that comes out of it? Alavai, I could say I should, as much as I could. So anyway, with that in mind, I want to now. It's a very short, easy, I promise, easy piece. It's a very easy piece from Reb Shlomo, teaching the first pasuk. It's just one page. Let's just make sure it reaches the back. And Chaver from Rabbi Shiva, I'm sorry, I'm not answering. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not going to be answering any of the chats. I hope you could still hear me. That's all right. Okay. This is a wonderful, wonderful gem to go to the new year with. Avi and Yael, you guys got?
I think.
Yes? Okay. Alright. Reb Shlomo says like this. It says, Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem. You're all standing today. And remember, keep in mind, this is Moshe Rabbeinu's last day in his life. Okay, if you were a father, and Chas v'Sholom you knew, you only had one more opportunity to share your heart of hearts with your children. What would you say? This is where Moshe Rabbeinu is at. And Moshe Rabbeinu told us plenty of things in his life, in his 120 years. But this is this is most crucial of it. It says, Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem. You're all standing today. Look what Reb Shlomo says. Have you ever seen people who lose their balance, both emotionally and spiritually, over every little wind that comes their way? It's simple because they don't know what they really want in life. This is a very powerful statement. What does it mean? Look how he continues. In Hebrew, there are two words for standing. There's la'amod. It doesn't say atem omdim hayom. It says atem nitzavim hayom lehitiyatzev. By the way, where else do we see that word nitzavim in the Torah? That shoresh, that root of the word nitzav, nitzavim. It's very famous. One of them is... no, different shoresh. That's command. That's with a vav, tzadik vav. This is tzadik with bet. Nun tzadik bet is the shoresh. Where else do we see it in the Torah? Come on. Okay, very vayityatzvu betachtit ahar. Very good. By Matan Torah, we had this moment of hityatzvu. The hityatzev means standing firm, like a matzeva. It's the same word. What's a matzeva? Shelo neda ad mea ve'esrin. A monument, right? You're standing like a monument. You can't be moved. Where else do we see this in the Torah? The root of this. Where does it say Vehine Hashem nitzav alav? What is that referring to? Yaakov's ladder on the dream, right? The dream that he has about the Malachei Elokim Olim Yeradim Bo. He sees Hashem is nitzav. He's Hashem. God is on this ladder, right? Where else do we see it? There's something else. I mean, there's a few other places, but I think it says by Lot's wife that when she turned around, right? What is she? Vatehi netziv melach. She becomes this pillar, this monument of salt. Yes, verifying. Is that? Do we know where that is? No. But do we know where the actual pillar of salt?
No,
it's a myth, right? I was on a bus as a kid. They told me.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's all shit.
Okay, it works for me. Anyway, in any event, the point is that in Hebrew, la'amod, I'm walking around. Lehitiyatzev. Friends, when was the last time you took a stand in life that nothing could blow you down? When was the last time you stood firm in your belief in something, or in your desire for something, or in your dream for something, and no one's opinion, anyone's opinion, had absolutely no effect on you? It's crazy how much people's opinions show us how we're never really mityatzeving. Hopefully we're standing. But then comes an opinion, you know what, I was wrong. I don't know. It's probably not right what I thought. Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, Atem nitzavim hayom. It's like he's not saying this is where you're at, he's saying this is where you should be. Atem nitzavim, you have to lihitiyatzev. I'm leaving you, Moshe Rabbeinu was saying. I'm not going to be able to lift you up every 2 seconds. My brother died, my sister died, he's saying, and Yeshua is going to do the best he can. Chazak ve'ematz, but I'm leaving you guys. Is every person's opinion going to come and completely knock you off? Stand firm. Don't let anything just trickle you down in a second. So here, look, this is how Rabbi Shlomo explains it. Nitzavim means that I have something I believe in which I am not moving from. Mamish, like a monument. How many of us want something else every single day? Take our generation. Most people change their religion and change their goals 14 times a day. This year I'm learning here, next year I'm worshiping there. One day I'm a lawyer, one day I'm an accountant. One day I want to be a hippie, one day I want to be a millionaire. When you talk to them, you never know who you're talking to. So what am I doing the whole month of Elul? I'm preparing to once again find out what I really want from God, what I really want from this world, and essentially what I really want for myself. When I know that, I'm a matzeva, I'm a monument, a living monument, lahavdil. No one, every wind can, when someone has roots, a tree that has strong roots, the wind can come, blow the branches every direction. But when it's in its roots, it's nitzav. You cannot move it. You can't touch it. Go back the last 12 months, friends. How many of your opinions about yourself or about what's nice in life changed based on other people's winds that were blown your way? Obviously, it's always good to learn and hear different opinions. We're not saying don't listen to anybody. But why is it that it's so hard to listen to someone's different take and you not let it affect what you think about it? It's a crazy thing. Do you really think God wants everyone to look like a bagel? It can't be, right? Do you think God wants everyone to think the same way? Rabbi Shlomo once said, if God wanted everyone to think the same way, guess what? Everybody would think the same way, exactly. It's a very simple thing. If God wanted the whole world to be Jewish, news alert, the whole world would be Jewish. But there's something that we don't understand, that there's supposed to be duality, there's supposed to be differences in opinion, there's supposed to be more than one way of thinking about things. I'm not chas v'shalom for 1 second saying against halacha. And I want to be clear about that. Like we were just in Uman, Rabbi Nachman said, you can learn my Torahs any way you want, stretch them out to any direction, to however you learn them out. However, if something that I said led you to go against halacha, it wasn't me that said that. That's what he said. Okay? But again, to have differences of opinion, understanding of what the Torah is all about, what God is all about, what you're about, that's beautiful. But how many times this past year did someone else's opinion blow my candle out? Mamish, knock me off. I'm at someone's Shabbos table, they're talking about something that my wife and I decided already would be good. I heard their opinion. I didn't even think about if their opinion makes sense or not, but I heard that they had an opinion that was different than mine. It starts shaking my roots. What kind of joke is that? Then, okay, now we're getting to the basar of this. Then it says, kulchem. Atem nitzavim hayom, kulchem. And by the way, the Midrash says, Atem nitzavim hayom. What day is hayom speaking about? Rosh Hashanah. Oh, but the other Rebbe say this, the Chazal say this. Meaning, on Rosh Hashanah, you need to have some kind of a matzev of yourself, a monument. Atem nitzavim, you are all nitzavim hayom on Rosh Hashanah. Then the next word is kulchem. And here's one of my favorite teachings of Reb Shlomo. One of my favorite teachings ever. By the way, how would you translate the word kulchem?
All of you.
All of you. But Reb Shlomo adds one word to this translation. He doesn't say that kulchem means all of you. He says kulchem means the all of you. Meaning the all which composes you. Right? The all of you, that which you're really all about. Not all of you in plural, but everything that makes you, you. Do you understand the difference? If not, I want to repeat this again. Chevra, I have to remind everyone, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know, like if I have no idea sometimes, especially since I'm not wearing my glasses, I don't know if it's flowing or not. So if I say something and you don't understand it, like, who cares? Please tell me. So again, all of you can mean kulam b'yachad, or the all of you means that which encompasses you fully. Not a part of you, the all of you. Yeah? Muvan? Understand? Very convincing. You guys are really... Yeah, okay. Then it says, kulchem, the all of you, is what is standing before God on Rosh Hashanah. What does that mean? Everybody knows that on Rosh Hashanah you are standing before God, but the question is, on what level? We're not being counted on the level of details. We are being counted on the level of all, meaning we are brought before God. On Yom Kippur, how are we brought before the Ribono Shel Olam? Details. It's not the all of me. It's I did this wrong, I did this wrong, this wrong. It's an account. On Rosh Hashanah, we don't go in. It's very weird. All Chazal always ask, why don't we start right away on Rosh Hashanah, going into the details that made us who we are, right? It's not about that. Because you know why? If I started the year like that, I'd never make it past day one. So I start off as like Kulchem, the all of me, the big picture, what I really want, who I really truly am. So look what he says here. Here I want you to open your hearts in the deepest depths. Every person is the combination of two things. Let's take a person who's very good looking. Their eyes and ears are beautiful. Their hair is not to be believed. But this is all details. Then there is something else, which is the all a person is. There might be a person who's very talented in mathematics, but sometimes the all of them is not talented. A lot of scientists were very talented in everything, but the all in them was stupid. You ever meet a scientist that was stupid? Yeah? You ever, huh? No, because your concept, well, I should have rephrased it. I don't mean that his intellect was low or that he had a low IQ, but the all, his bigger, honestly, you've never met people that are geniuses that cannot talk to you? Then, come on, nutty professor, yeah, it happens all the time. So we're putting things into perspective right now. Then there is a person who might not be talented in every detail, but the all, the kulchem in them is talented, and the all of them is beautiful. And now this is a very hard statement for Litvaks. Okay? This is a very hard statement right now. There are a lot of Yiddelach who are Jewish in every detail, but the all of them is without religion. How's that for a powerful statement? I'm going to say that again. There are a lot of Yiddelach who are Jewish in every detail, but the all of them is without religion. Remember, who was there last night? Esther, you were there. Anyone else was in Yerushalayim? Shlomo said that he had just seen two fathers with their sons at the Kotel. Remember? About saying Amen. One father was screaming at his son, hitting him, say Amen! Smacking him, Amen! No? The kid's like, oh, Amen! Then there was another father stroking his son's face. B'yamin, mach den Amen? You saying, make an Amen? Amen. Shlomo said, what's the difference between the two? He said, the person that's forcing it, his son to say Amen, his own Yiddishkeit isn't natural to him. It's forced. And when it's forced on you, you force it on your kid. Simple as it is. The other father, who had his son, and his chinuch was, saying, without force, his Yiddishkeit flows like a river. It flows natural like a river. By the way, Rabbi Nachman, if you saw the way the kever looked before it became this incredible, huge monument, Rabbi Nachman was buried in this old woman's backyard beneath some stones. And all the Hasidim were able to do back then was to just write on it, Nun Nun Mem Chet. You ever see that? You ever see that? All it said was Nun Nun Mem Chet, Rashi Tevos. It's one of the ways we refer to him. Nachal Novea Mekor Chochma. A flowing river, the source of wisdom. Because we want things to flow. We want them to have a natural flow into our lives. Like the words of the real tzaddikim. You don't have to force them into you. They naturally flow into you. No force. So here Reb Shlomo said again, there are a lot of Yiddelach who are Jewish in every detail. This father told his son to say Amen. Is that a Jewish thing? That's the most Jewish thing in the world. How many times did you go to shul where it says you have to say Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbi Mevarach with all your might, right? And I think it says you'll be zochet or a million things, Gan Eden, but it's not natural. It's forceful. But all of them is without religion, meaning the bigger picture. Not the details, the bigger picture is without religion. And then Reb Shlomo says there are people whose details are not so religious, but the all of them is so beautiful. And I'm going to say that line again as well. Then there are people whose details are not so religious. You know anyone like that? Their details are not so religious, but the all of them is so beautiful. You know, I hate those people because they make me so jealous. You know, I look at them like, are you kidding me? You haven't put on tefillin in like 3 years, and I feel like you have private Hisbodedus sessions with God, and I have to work so hard and feel like I'm connecting to something. Are you kidding? There's something about them. It's like you can't take that away from certain people. En ma lasot. Why? Because the all of them is religious. Okay, we're not saying now, we're not trying to exempt anybody from everything, but we're showing a mitzias in the world that it is like this. I remember one day I was in Mamiftar when I was still learning there, and I came up to Rav Bravender after, in the first year that I was there, and I guess he should mochel me because we are broadcasting right now on Web Yeshiva, which is his, so it'd be weird to say anything that wasn't. This is fully covered. I hope everyone takes this the right way, because to me this was the highest. First year I really tried to get close to Rav Bravender. So I would come up to him with like Gemaras and stuff and see, and all he wanted to do was talk to me about the Moshav and Reb Shlomo for like God knows how long, right? But I realized he was digging from the other way into me, and from then on he's been my Rosh Yeshiva. I know he will be forever. It's my Masada Kiddushin. So one day after Mincha, when I realized like, now I want to go deeper, I went up to him and I said, Rebbe, I just don't understand something. I just came from visiting a good friend of mine, this beautiful couple that lived somewhere in the Gush. And, here we're in yeshiva, we're learning for smicha, we're trying so hard to understand all the halachas and digduke halachas and all these different, small matters, which is really the ratzon of Hashem. I said, Rebbe, I just came from this couple, and I'm not even sure how much they're makpid on. I wasn't even sure if I could eat in their house. But I felt I felt God's pleasantness amongst them. They really respect each other, and they're trying as much as they can. I said to him, is it possible that that's real? Is it possible that not that the love is real, but that pleasant, that Noam Hashem, Lachzos b'Noam Hashem, is it possible that what I saw was really the pleasantness of Hashem, if they weren't really fully frum in every detail? So he gave me a great answer. He says, look, Katz, you probably, you've learned ridiculous stories. You know that it's possible. Of course it's possible. But he said, it's not something you can necessarily give over to your children. And that's why you have to be makpid on the halacha, the details, in a pleasant way. Because to have that pleasantness of Hashem on the level of the all is probably a matnat chinam. It's probably an undeserved gift, like we were learning last night in Yerushalayim. But on the level of details, that's not something you could give over to someone, especially to your children. It's got to be the details come in a non-forceful way. But again, the point here is that there are people that in their details, they are not what we call, and it's become the most grotesque word, frum. But on the level of all, they're the frummest in the world. Something about them. You want to be in their presence. You want them on your team. When it's Yom Kippur and it's Tfilas Ne'ilah, you want them on your team. You can't explain it, but you know you need them on your team. And you pray that they want you on their team as well. So let's continue with this. On Yom Kippur, we're standing before God on the level of details, because on Yom Kippur I confessed every detail I did wrong. But on Rosh Hashanah, I'm standing before God on the level of my all. Meaning, Rosh Hashanah is mamish this parsha. Atem Nitzavim hayom kulchem. The all of you is what's going to be showing up Rosh Hashanah night. You don't start saying, that time the blech, I messed up. You're not involved with that. Oh, that time my Lashon Hara, my tongue, I couldn't stop talking Lashon Hara about that. I have to tell you a moment of tshuva I had last week in Uman. I don't know who I shared this with, but as we were approaching Renachman, the kever, one of the guys on the trip came up to me freaking out. Freaking. I think I told you this to you today. Freaking out. I didn't share it with you guys. I said, what's wrong? He said, listen, I belittled this whole Breslev thing many times in my life and laughed at the Tikkun Klali. I'm scared to death to go in there right now. He said to me, I'm scared to death to go in there. And I see the power of the koch of tzaddikim and their makom kvuras kodesh kadashim. I can't go in there right now. He mamish had, he wasn't scared to experience mamish slicha mechila. So I just told him, I said, brother, Nachman, he's way bigger than that. Don't worry. Just do your thing. Go in there, say the Tikkun Klali, do your thing. So afterwards he came out and he told me, he said, bro, I went in there feeling so low and embarrassed, and I mamish felt the Rebbe go like this. I felt him come and say, come here. And now the guy's fire. He's switched. He's on absolute fire now. Anyway, it's just like these moments of hitorut halev, of tshuva, are like all of him suddenly got transformed in such a deep way. But it's because of the details. It's working back and forth. So now we're ending on the bottom over here, the bottom paragraph. Now we're ending right now how we started the Shiur. Now this was all about the all of the individual. Let's go one step deeper, okay? Now we're going to go to the regular meaning of kulchem. Now we're going to go to the regular meaning of kulchem. Where does my all and your all connect? What does that mean? Humbly speaking, I think it means, how do people connect in this world in a real way? How do friends really connect with each other? Take your surroundings. Take the people you see on a daily basis. To what part of a person are they close? I like tofu, you like tofu. By the way, he must have been teaching this to the hippies, because before he was, first of all, he was talking about tofu, and then before he was saying that one day I want to be a hippie, one day I want to be a millionaire, so I'm just assuming that's where it was happening. I like tofu, you like tofu. You can't stand your wife, I can't stand my wife, chas v'shalom, right? You keep your money in Citibank, so do I. Thank God we have something in common, right? Obviously, that's not where it's at. So before Rosh Hashanah, the Ribono Shel Olam asks us, not only do you love Yidden, but can you stand together with all of your alls? Can you talk about real things? Ume'urav bedas im habrios. Meaning, you don't spend Rosh Hashanah alone. You don't crown the king individually. Yom Kippur is more about an individual relationship, an individual process that you're going through of slicha, mechila, and kapara. But Rosh Hashanah, the most important words are Meloch al kol ha'olam kulo bichvodecha. Reign over the whole world through your kavod. Rosh Hashanah is not about me alone. I'm mamlich melachim v'lo mlucha. I'm crowning the king. It's something much bigger than that. And we say, Ein melech v'lo am. The king cannot reign over people that are individuals. A king reigns over an am. People that feel that they can talk to each other. People that are mu'urav bedat im habriot. People that are really connected to the all of the other person, and not just the individual. That's the Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem. That's what this bigger picture really is all about. And like now we understand that like when Moshe Rabbeinu is saying goodbye to us, he's really giving us his will while he's still alive. He's not waiting till he dies, then Yeshua says, okay, listen, Moshe Rabbeinu said this and this. These last 4 parshas of the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu's will. But we always read Nitzavim before Rosh Hashanah. Sometimes we read Nitzavim and Vayelech, but we always read Parshas Nitzavim before Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because of the bris of becoming guarantors for each other. Because of what we have to do for each other in this world. we have to stop for 1 second this last week and ask slicha from the Ribono Shel Olam in our slichas. I can't believe I didn't take advantage of the love that you placed right in front of my eyes. It's right in front of me. And I was satisfied with such a low level of a relationship with so many people that are in my life. Do you understand, friends, that life could be so much more meaningful if you only take one more person that maybe you take for granted and ask them what's happening in their heart? We have such a fear of going there with certain people. Really, each of us is waiting for that from the other person. But we're always waiting who's going to do it first, right? Who's going to go first, right? So this is the plunge, taking the plunge, Be'ezrat Hashem, that when we come this Rosh Hashanah, now much less than a week from now, we could say, Ki'ish echad belev echad, atem nitzavim hayom kulchem. Yes, we are. We're here. And we're ready for the all of me to meet the all of you. Our details meet each other all the time. What hechsher do you keep? Where do you send your kids? How long are your daughter's skirts? Those are the details meet all the time. The all, not so often. But when the all meets each other, it's the most beautiful oneness in the world. That I heard from Rabbi when I was there. There's all these different acronyms for Elul, right? Like the famous ones, Anil Dodi v'Dodi Li. There was one we learned for a few years already that's brought down in Reb Moshe Wolfson's Emunah Sitecha V'naflu lifnechem oiveichem lecharev is Rashi Tevos Elul, which means your enemies should fall on their own swords, which is brought down in Parshas Bechukotai. That really, if we do the work of Elul properly, all those things that were mamish menias, what do you say menias? They were obstacles. You don't have to work too hard to conquer them this year. If Elul's Elul, your enemies will fall on their swords without you even wasting your energy on them. Like Rabbi Levi Yitzchak says, Ohave Hashem sinura. If you're busy loving God, you will automatically hate evil without even giving it any thought. The other famous Rashi Tevos is Ani L'uman V'ishti Levad. That became a very famous one as well. But the Es Levavcha Ve'es Levav, there's all these other ones. So in Lubavitch, they took it and they said, you know what, if everyone's finding their own Rashi Tevos, let's do one of our own, right? So they say, it's a gewalt thing, you have to know Yiddish for this. So they said, Rabbi said in Lubavitch, they said, what's Elul? Lebedik und weiter lebedik. It's got to be the simcha and even with more simcha. I leave you with that. Greeting the King this year should be the happiest moment of our life. We'll be meeting again here right before Yom Kippur. I'm not sure if I think it's the night before Yom Kippur. We're going to be doing a Yom Kippur Shiur. Next week, obviously, there's no Shiur. We're doing a Shiur before Yom Kippur, and then we continue again after Sukkot. All right? And thank you so much for Toby and Chaya. It feels completely natural and at home already. I hope Ezrat Hashem that all of us continue to give each other koch, and that we finally have enough guts to ask each other what's really going on in your heart without being scared to sound like a freak. All right, good yantiv.